Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of United Way for Southeastern Michigan's What's the Word Wednesdays. My name is Audrey Walker, and today we'll be discussing holiday food access, where to find assistance, and how you can help families in need this holiday season. We all know that a festive holidays start with family meals, but with inflation driving up the cost of food, many families are feeling their food budgets stretched thin heading into the holiday season. Thankfully, there are some amazing organizations out there helping families access food, and many of them are United Way partners. We're so lucky to have one such organization, Forgotten Harvest, here with us today to share some information on how families can find food assistance for the holidays and beyond, as well as ways that others can help support families in need. So a few reminders before we get started. Please put your questions for our guest speakers in the chat box if you're watching on Zoom, or in the comment section on Facebook. We will take the last 10 minutes of today's presentation for questions. And closed captions have been enabled in Zoom and Facebook Live. So to turn them on, please click on the Show Captions button at the bottom of your screen. I want to introduce our guests for today. We have Kelli Kaschimer and Krista Poole, who both work on the client services team at Forgotten Harvest. Krista Poole was born and raised in Detroit. She first became involved with Forgotten Harvest while utilizing their services as a single mom. And she said she was overwhelmed with tears when she saw all the wonderful food she and her family had received. She then began volunteering with the organization before accepting a job there 14 years ago, first as assistant to the CEO and then establishing the volunteer program. She now serves as Forgotten Harvest Client Services Manager, working closely with the food distribution centers, like the one that helped her and her children long ago. Krista is a committed community leader and sits on several boards, one of which affords her the opportunity to fund community projects while giving her a unique perspective as someone who's been in need of assistance. Kelli Kaschimer joined the team at Forgotten Harvest in March 2021, where she oversees the agency department, which works with over 200 Forgotten Harvest agency partners throughout the Metro Detroit area to help distribute food to the community. She also oversees the volunteer department, which keeps the organization moving with over 15,000 volunteers annually. Forgotten Harvest relies on the work and expertise of their many different volunteers. Previously, Kelli worked for the American Cancer Society for almost 20 years. She has an extensive experience in volunteer and constituent engagement, recruitment, and management for the past 25 years, and has a master's in public administration with a concentration in nonprofit management from Oakland University. In her personal time, Kelli is a mom to 5 boys active in their local Cub Scout pack and a member of Macomb County Cancer Coalition through Carmano's Office of Cancer, Health, Equity, and Community Engagement. So thank you both so much for joining us today. We are very excited to hear more about the awesome work happening at Forgotten Harvest and how members in our community can get involved.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having us with you guys today. We're excited to talk to you and tell you a little bit more about Forgotten Harvest, who we are and what we do. So Krista and I are going to take you through some of our resources today so that families know where can you find access to help both this holiday season and as well outside of our holidays. As Audrey mentioned, my name is Kelli Kaschimer. I am the Director of Volunteer and Client Services here at Forgotten Harvest. And soon you'll be hearing from Krista Poole, who's going to take you through our Find Food tool through the Forgotten Harvest website. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about Forgotten Harvest, who we are, what we do, and how we do it. So Forgotten Harvest has been around for over 30 years. We were actually started by our founder out of the back of her Jeep. She had a vision. She went around to grocery stores, retailers, and and food service places. She would pick up the food and then take it to downtown Detroit and give it to those who were in need. She would look for homeless encampments and hand it out to individuals on the street. That is how our organization started, and it's really the foundation of how we operate today. Forgotten Harvest is Metro Detroit's premier food rescue organization. That means we take food that would otherwise go to waste within our community from retail stores, grocers, manufacturers, restaurants, and we take that food that still has great nutritious value, and we make sure that we get it out to the community and the clients who are in need. We also own and operate our own farm up in Fenton, Michigan, where we're able to grow and farm and produce lots of really great healthy produce that we then can get out to the community that's as fresh as can be. We'll often get out corn in the summer that was really picked the day before. So really great, healthy, fresh produce that's so at need for people within our community. At the end of it, our mission is really two things, is to relieve hunger and to reduce food waste. I'm going to show you a short video that's going to give you a little inside glimpse of how we distribute food within our community. Hopefully this will run in just a second.
I was going to say.
It's our mobile food pantry. A great partnership with Forgotten Harvest allows us to serve the community.
I come and just pick up food boxes for the elderly or disabled or people that can't get out to come get food. We love you, Forgotten Harvest.
Forgotten Harvest has been a great blessing to many of us. If you are those who participate and donate to Forgotten Harvest, please don't quit. Keep helping them to help us to survive.
Absolutely. So that's just a little glimpse of what our food distribution looks like. Why are we serving people? What is the need? According to the USDA, more than 34 million people, including 9 million children, are considered food insecure today. That means every community that you live in, that I live in, that everybody on this call lives in, there are neighbors within your own community who are in need, and Forgotten Harvest is there to help them and help service them. We know that the pandemic has grown that number of food insecure individuals, and we are helping to try to alleviate those issues so that those families who are in need can focus the resources they do have on some of their other family needs. We also know that many households who are food insecure may not actually qualify for some of the federal or government programs that can help with food assistance. And again, there are no requirements to be a recipient of any of our food distributions. You simply have to be someone who is in need of food. And we also know that there's things like supply chain issues as well as the bird flu. It's really impacting people's ability not only to get food from the stores, but even to afford those foods. So I'm going to turn it over to Krista, and she's going to talk a little bit about how you can access food within the Forgotten Harvest Network.
Hello, everyone. So for those that work in the food network, you know that we are struggling. There is a real shortage of food within the network, and everybody's kind of bidding at that food that's out there. But Forgotten Harvest, we have over 203 pantries. 64 of them are mobile pantries. So a mobile pantry is kind of the example that you just saw in the video. So we go to food deserts and underserved areas, and we set up a lot of times in churches or large parking structures where we can have moving traffic. And we have volunteers come out and, we give you the full plate. You pull up, you pop your trunk, or you open your back door, and you have volunteers giving you wonderful food. The mobile pantry food, it comes directly from our warehouse. It goes out in bulk, and then it goes to your tables. And the way you access that is you go to ForgottenHarvest.org. Once you go to ForgottenHarvest.org, you're going to click on that orange Find Food button. And then what happens is you're going to see the distributions that are happening that week. So it's real time. You're going to click on that. It's going to, so for example, if you want to come Monday, November 7th, you're going to click on Monday. It's going to show you all 5 or 6 pantries that run that day. It's going to show you the name of the pantry, the time, the address, everything that you need. And then you're going to go and you're going to receive food. All right. So we also have what we call brick and mortar pantries. So we have a fleet of trucks. So we'll have 60 drivers go out. Each driver will go to 10 to 11 different stores. And then they take that load that they have on their truck and they split it in thirds. So they'll go to 3 pantries and each pantry will get a third of that truck. And I always say it's like Christmas in July. You just never know what you're going to get. And so the way that you access that is you just scroll down a little bit further from the mobile pantries. You put your address right into the address bar and you can search the radius. You can go 10 miles out all the way to 50 miles out. And it's going to pull up every single pantry in your area that services your community. And again, it's going to give you the name of the organization, the address, the times, even the directions. So we're trying to really take all of the worry out of everything. We're trying to help fill that gap for you during the holidays. And then there's always 211. You dial 211. As I always say, like you dial 911, because that's your emergency resource. And they'll let you know what other pantries we have in the area too.
Absolutely. Thanks, Krista. And for those of you who might be on the call today and maybe you're not in need, but you want to know that how can you help this issue? How can you be a part of the solution? We have an answer for that too. Forgotten Harvest, we're always looking for volunteers to help us out. Our volunteers can come as individuals or groups or companies or schools. They can help us in the warehouse with sorting our grocery rescue, repacking food, or even building boxes. They can help at our mobile pantry distributions, which Krista just spoke about and you saw on the video, special events, or we're also always looking for long-term or skilled volunteers. So if you have a specific skill set and you want to see how that can be used by Forgotten Harvest, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to have that conversation. Obviously, Forgotten Harvest can always use donations if you are in the space where you have the ability to do that. $1 donated to Forgotten Harvest can provide $7 worth of groceries, which equates to about 4 meals for a family. And last but not least, even if you are not in need, please share this information within your network. There's many people throughout all communities. It doesn't matter where you live. You have neighbors on your street, down the street, around the corner from you that are in need. So by putting this information out there, letting people know that Forgotten Harvest exists, 211 exists, you could be helping someone that you don't even know is in need today. So please share this information, even if it's not pertinent to you. Krista?
All right. And finally, thank you all. Again, you can find us at www.forgottenharvest.org or Forgotten Harvest Find Food. You can always give us a call, 248-967-1500. And again, United Way, 211, everybody. And thank you, United Way, for the partnership. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that wonderful information about how people can access food and assistance, and then also be able to help out as well. And one of the questions that we wanted to start out with today is if you all are seeing any particular trends that have been happening as far as, we've seen over the news the past few months that, maybe lines at the food pantries are longer, the need is greater. What are you seeing at Forgotten Harvest Pantry Partners in terms of available food versus the need for assistance?
So the need has grown. So we actually had a town hall meeting with Forgotten Harvest, United Way, and Gleaners about 3 weeks ago now. I'm going back quick. So, and the conversation was for our agencies, and across the board, the agencies are seeing there is an increase in clients coming to get food. But again, that food network is the same. You have thousands of organizations trying to pick from the same food source. And it's like, who can outbid the other to make sure that their clients are taken care of? So the lines are longer, the food is less, and the money is less. So there's a real struggle out there. Mm-hmm. And just to be honest with you, internally, we were really struggling. We have been diligent to get holiday food in. The cost of holiday food on our end, because there is a shortage in the network, it's crazy. And we're spending a lot of money to fund the community, and we don't charge anything. Only thing that
Right.
we ask is that if you're in need, you come get in line and we're going to feed you to take some of that burden off. But yeah.
And I do see that there's a couple questions around turkeys. That's always the big question at Thanksgiving. Everybody loves a turkey. Unfortunately, this is one of those items that it's very difficult to source for, and it's very expensive. And so this year, Forgotten Harvest is not doing a bulk turkey distribution, nor do we unfortunately have turkeys available for other organizations who are looking to supply that
Okay.
to their community.
Thank you so much for answering that. And we had another question here too of if someone wants, if there's a nonprofit out there that wants to become a pantry partner and maybe has applied, do you have a timeline for that or recommendations of how someone can partner, requirements?
So it really depends on our network needs. And one of the things Forgotten Harvest tries to do is make sure that our resources are available across all communities. And so we do take a look at where our network is currently sitting when somebody applies. Do we already have a partner in that area? Is that partner within walking distance to that community? Is that community already oversaturated with organizations and resources? Or are they in a community where we don't currently have those resources available? So it really depends on a lot of different factors on how long that approval process can take.
Yeah, that makes sense too. I know, and that's the great thing about having your expertise and really knowing where the need is and how you can get partners out there. So that's wonderful that you're able to see that within the community as well. And so I noticed that you had some information about people being able to volunteer. Is there particular needs that that you're specifically looking for help? And then also, I know this question comes up a lot, especially during the holidays. Is there an age requirement if people want to have, their kids or family come out to volunteer?
Great questions. So typically we are always looking for volunteers. Every single day we have volunteers in our warehouse, now Monday through Saturday, which is very exciting to bring our Saturdays back for the first time since the pandemic. Saturdays open in December, but we're always looking for volunteers. Coming January, we'll be looking for almost 200 volunteers every single day in our warehouse. Again, that's to repack food, sort our grocery, rescue food, build boxes, take bulk quantity donations and move them down into family size quantities. So if you or someone you know wants to get involved, give us a call, go on our website and sign up. Typically in the warehouse, we do require age 12 and up. If they're under 18, they do need to have a chaperone on site.
Okay, that's helpful. And is that same age requirement for the like the mobile pantries and other opportunities you have as well?
It is. But I would say if you have a certain group, if you have a certain expectation or need, reach out, give us a call, and we can see what kind of opportunities we have out there that will work for your group or your family.
And I'm glad you mentioned January too, because I know in talking with a lot of our partners, it seems like a lot of people, they get into the spirit of giving back during the holidays in November and December, and then we don't see that influx in January and February, and still the months that organizations such as yourself are really looking for those volunteers, especially during the harder winter months and things like that people need help. So I'm glad that you highlighted that the need is there all year round, the need for volunteers, and even in the winter months of January, not just November and December as well. So
especially in January and February.
Okay. So especially in January and February, and then it seems like the signups you all have to be able to volunteer, does it go out that far? Or is it a month by month basis where you can plan?
Yes, we typically open our volunteer opportunities 3 months in advance.
Oh, great. Okay.
So
Very
you can
good.
plan your family outing, plan your corporate outing, do a little team building, and have a little fun at the same time.
So if someone personally wanted to make a food donation to Forgotten Harvest, would they be able to physically take a food donation to you, or how does that work?
Absolutely. Yeah. We get food donations to our office almost every day.
Every day.
If you've got a large donation, give us a call, set it up. We'll get you pulled into the dock. If you've just got something that you'd like to donate and you can bring it in, go on, pull up and come on into our front door, and our receptionist will take care of you.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And so for people that have catering events, what we do with them is we try to partner them with the local soup kitchen in their area. We make that connection and they could take it right to the soup kitchen or shelter. And that seems to work out great for everyone.
Wait, can you explain that a little bit further, what you said with catering events? Yeah.
So Audrey, if United Way had a banquet and they had all these trays of wonderful food, now let me specify, it's going to be food that has not been picked through or touched. And they call and say, hey, Krista, I have 20 trays of sandwiches. Would you like them? What I would do is I would call a Capuchin Kitchen or Detroit Rescue Mission Ministries. I will pair them directly with the soup kitchen or shelter. Then you all could take the food to them. It seems to be a win-win. The shelters love it. You get that feel-good feeling. And it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful partnership.
Yeah, and that's great to know with the holiday season coming up, if people are planning a party or a gathering and maybe do over plan for food that they have. And I do like how you mentioned it's like an unopened tray of sandwiches that may have been left over or something like that. So there is a little bit of a specification on that, but I do think that's, helpful, for people to know as they're having gatherings and where they can take things or how they can be connected to specific partners as well. And we had a question here too, asking if Forgotten Harvest ever partners with schools for food distribution. And then if so, like how would a school connect with you?
So we do. So we have a couple of schools. We have in Bisker and River Rouge. We partnered with Ecorse. We partnered with Gompers and Brightmoor. There's been several schools. And so normally the way that the distributions happen now is they happen during the morning. And so once the school is in session, the kids are all in, they hold their distribution for 2 hours. What I am looking for is a fail type distribution. So if you have any schools and you know that the kids are in need, I would like to have the truck come, and then as the kids are leaving for the day, they're leaving that drive-through line, we have volunteers putting food in their vehicles that Friday. So we know during the weekend, they have food in their home. That's what I would like to see. We don't have a bail style distribution set up yet, but that's what I want.
Okay. Well, thank you for putting that out there. And hopefully there is a connection that, could potentially be made through this conversation today or even in the future as well. And then I know you had put in the chat too, Kelli, that anyone's that's interested in partnering with you can reach out to both you, Krista, and Kelli. A lot of great conversations and questions happening here too. And one question that I wanted to ask too is that what's something, from your opinion that everyone who's, watching this today that you want them to know, that you want them to take away from this? Krista, if you want to start with that.
So I want you to be aware that there really is a food shortage in the network. It's a real thing happening. And so you may go to a pantry on Monday and they may be filled to the brim with produce and meat and etc. And then you may go to another one on Wednesday and it's bare minimum. It's not that we are putting certain food in certain areas or we're looking out for certain partners. It kind of is what it is. And we are working diligently. We are working hard. We have a lot of very tough meetings in-house to keep the community fed. It's a lot of decisions that are made. We got a lot going on, guys. There's a real need.
And I'd like to add to that. I think my one takeaway I would want anyone on this call to have is please come and see us if you are in need. There's a lot of sometimes stigma around food insecurity, and there's a lot of fear that goes, especially for individuals who may never experience this before. There's a lot of people in the same shoes you are. There's a lot of people everywhere that is experiencing food insecurity. Don't be ashamed. Give us a call, go to our website, find that help so that we can help you feed yourself and feed your family. That's what we're here for. And I will tell you that there are other people in your life that are in that same boat. It's okay to ask for help. And that's what we want you to do.
Yeah.
And appreciate you sharing, both of those sentiments, because I know it can be real easy for people to say, oh, I have someone else needs it more than I do. But maybe this is the one time that you do need it, and then you'll be on your way. So I do think that's a very important message. If instead of having someone struggle through, and kind of take that as just to maybe explore a little bit further what that could be like for them and their families in this moment right now where they may need assistance. And then same thing for people who want to help, who want to give back, who want to reach out and say this could be the moment in time where that's going to make a huge impact on the community as well. So I really appreciate both of you sharing this information. It's so important for everyone to hear from you both and to know what's going on in our community around either, getting assistance for holiday meals and beyond, and then also being able to volunteer not only in November and December, but in January and February as well, as we mentioned. So we did have one last question here of what time can donations be made for you all? I just want to know if you want to share that with us real quick.
Our office is open every day from 8:30 to 4:30.
Okay, great. So from 8:30 to 4:30 at the Forgotten Harvest office, and we have shared several links in the chat on both Facebook and Zoom. We encourage you to use those to get the information that you're seeking. And as well as that, just as a reminder, I know we mentioned 211 during this conversation as well, but if you or anyone you know in our community is experiencing a need, our 211 helpline remains available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And this includes finding resources that help you get connected to food, utility assistance, and so much more. We always maintain a running list of available services within our community and can connect you to the support you need. You can also look up resources in your area by using the 211 resource database at unitedwaysem.org/211. So we really encourage you to use that if you can. And then our next town hall, we want to have parents of young children stay tuned for next week's What's the Word Wednesday, because we'll be joined by Dr. Lena Holtrop, pediatrician and co-founder of the Wayne Children's Healthcare Access Program, who will tell us more about the Lena Start program, which is a unique school readiness program available here in Metro Detroit. So we hope that you will be able to join us for that as well. And if you are interested in seeing any of our previous town halls or signing up for updates so you don't miss out, you can check out unitedwaysem.org/virtual town halls, and that website's included in the chat box. So thanks everyone for joining us. We hope we will see you back here next week. Stay safe and continue to live united.